account determination. I'm using a very generic word, account determination. And underneath it, we have three different types of account determination. There are four different types. The main ones that are important for us as SD consultants are revenue account determination and recon account determination. Recon stands for reconciliation. Recon stands for reconciliation. Anybody remember where we have seen a reconciliation account?
When we are creating a customer,
when we create a customer master, in
we
the
put
company
that
code view,
1400 is what we
we
put
put
in
that recon account. 1400 is not a recon account. 14,000.
Yeah, 14,000.
14,000 something, right? That's a reconciliation account. And revenue account is something that we don't put at the customer master level, but this is determined automatically when posting an invoice. So what is this account determination? Why we need to do account determination? And which area does it fall under? In terms of the focus area, account determination is something that falls under SD FI integration area. Okay. The other thing that we have seen until now that falls under the SDFI integration area is credit management. Okay. The other thing that falls under the SDFI integration area is credit management. Because FD32, the transaction itself says it, F or FBL5N, the open items. The credit management generally is done both by SD and by FI. Similarly, account determination is mostly done by SD, but the actual accounts themselves are created by FICO and given to us. So they will say, use this for these revenue accounts, use this account for these recon accounts, so on and so on. But before we jump into the actual configuration of revenue recon, most of us being from a non-financial background, we have to understand a little bit about accounting. Just a little bit. Not more than 5-10 minutes of a primer. Okay? So the first thing is credit, debit, revenue. What is revenue? What is recon? What is a ledger account? What is a sub-ledger account? Okay? This is not very necessary, but this will nevertheless give you a very strong understanding of account determination. The first thing is dual entry accounting. Again, this is for people especially with a non-accounting background. Okay, most of you will be from a non-accounting background. So let's understand dual entry accounting. This is the standard mode of accounting in general for companies. I'm not going to go into the details of dual entry accounting, But dual entry accounting in general means for every transaction, any transaction that hits accounts, there will be an equal amount of credits and debits. Credit, debit. It's called CRDR. Credit is always posted as a negative. Always. Debit is always posted as a positive. Okay? This is the one thing that you have to remember. Credit is always posted as a negative. Debit is always posted as a positive. When I said equal amounts of debits and credits, for example, if you do a transaction, let's say a PGI. A PGI involves two accounts. Cost of goods sold, called COGS account, is credited, and inventory, I think cost of goods is debited and inventory is credited. Now what is credited and debited, even I don't know. Because what constitutes a credit, what constitutes a debit, there are three basic rules of accounting. What comes in, what goes out, credit the giver, debit the receiver. There are some rules there. I don't know all those rules. Not even a single rule. But what I understand is when a transaction affects accounting, there is an equal amount of debits and credits. So in this case, inventory will be credited with, let's say, so much, and that's a credit, and cost of goods account will be debited with the same amount. So the amount will be equal. For example, in case of pricing, your regular invoicing, okay, let's say invoice consists of line item 10, M01, price $100, discount $10, so total 90, freight $5, 95, just moving over here, plus tax. Tax is, let's say, 10%, 9.5. So total is 95 plus 9.5, 104.5. A very simple example of price. Now, in this case, how are the accounts affected? So I said equal amounts of debits and equal amounts of credits. Okay? The total revenue that needs to be collected from the customer will go in as a credit. The total amount of revenue, total amount of revenue is this. This is the revenue. 100. Okay? You don't need to fully understand it, in terms of like exactly what's going there. But understand the principle of equal amounts of debits, equal amounts of credits. So $10 goes here. $10 is debit. And then freight is $5. Right? Tax is 9.5. And then this is 104.5. This is how it goes. 100 plus 5 plus 9.5. How much is this? 109.5 plus 5. 114.5, Shiva. 14.5. So how much is this guy? 14.5. This is what I meant by equal amounts of debits and credits. If you look at it, all I've done is put all the negative values in one column, positive values in one column. That's all I've done. This is how dual entry accounting works. Now, where are all the different areas that this hits? In the order to cash cycle, quotation, order, delivery, invoicing. Okay? What are all the different areas that accounts are affected? Are they affected here? No. The pricing and everything happens here, but does it affect in accounting? No. Does it affect accounting here? Yes. This is one area where accounts get affected. When does it get affected? Not during delivery creation, not during picking, not during packing, but during PGI. Your accounts will be affected. Another question could be, can you tell me what are the accounts that are affected? Yes. Two accounts. Cost of goods sold, COGS, and inventory accounts. These are the two accounts that are affected. Now, you don't need to remember which account is credited, which account is debited. That's not your job. As long as you understand at least the basic accounts that are affected. In terms of negative, positive values, it's very simple. Inventory goes down. Cost of goods sold goes up. That's very natural, right? When you do a PGI, inventory goes down because inventory is taken out from your warehouse. So inventory goes down. Cost of goods sold. How much have you sold? That account goes up. Now, at the time of invoicing, after it goes to accounts, yes, they are affected. What are the accounts that are affected? Customer account, revenue account, sales deductions account. Sales deduction means discounts. Tax account, right? Freight account. These are the accounts that are affected. There will be some credits, there will be some debits. What is a credit? What is a debit here? We don't need to understand. Revenue is a credit. Sales deduction is a debit. But do we care about it? No. Because SAP, based on the document type, will automatically take care of whether a debit should be applied against a revenue or a credit. Because if we do the same transaction for a credit memo request, then your same revenue will be debited. So in case of credit memo, we need to give money back to the customer. So automatically the entries will be reversed. Okay. But what we need to understand is the different accounts that get affected at a very high level. Okay. So inventory and cost of goods account during PGI and customer revenue, sales deductions, tax and price during invoicing. Okay. These are the only basics that you need to understand. Beyond that, you don't need to go. Now, what role do we play as SD consultants? As SD consultants, We are not even responsible for the PGA part. This is something that we are not responsible for. This is automatically taken care using dash. Any hints? We already know it. This accounting is automatically taken care during PGI through dash.
Reconciliation account, movement type, 621.
Remember, movement type will be associated with a set of accounts. And you will be responsible for setting the movement type. The movement type will be associated with, how will you set the movement type? There is a particular movement type in a delivery during PGI. Where is it determined? In the order or in the delivery?
Delivery. Or scheduling.
The scheduling category at the order level dictates the movement type. And the corresponding delivery for that order will always use that particular movement type. Okay, and that movement type will dictate the accounts. So our responsibility in terms of this accounting ends with choosing the right movement type, and then we are done. So who configures this movement type to account? This is the domain of MMFI. They are responsible for determining the accounts. Okay? Now, this interface, we are responsible for this interface. Okay, can you give me 1 second, guys?
What was the question?
All right. Sorry about that. So the next question is, who takes care of this interface? Invoice to accounts. This is our area. SD, FI. Okay? So how exactly do we do it is the topic for today. the configuration, an example, so on and so forth. Account determination, as it's called, is completely done using condition technique. So your understanding of condition technique, as we learned in pricing, is going to be very useful. It's not going to use condition technique to the same extent as has been used in pricing, but this is a much simpler way of doing condition technique. But the principles remain the same. Okay, so let's just log on to SAP and then see what are the different moving parts in account determination. Alright, so there is account determination, SPRO, IMG, Sales and Distribution, basic functions, account assignment, costing. Then there are different kinds of account determinations, but we are interested in only two at this point. What are they? Revenue account determination and reconciliation account determination. We are interested in only two. Revenue account determination and reconciliation account determination. The way you do the configuration for either of these is exactly similar, because you can see the sequence of steps is very similar. The only difference is we'll be doing revenue account determination there, recon account determination here. If you understand what is a recon account, why we need to use a recon account, and under what situations you need to configure recon accounts in a different way, that is more than enough. But this one, the revenue account, is the configuration that we see. You can do either one of these. It doesn't matter. If you do one, you will understand the other in terms of configuration. Only the concepts in terms of what is revenue versus what is recons are different. Okay, so let's start with revenue determination, revenue account determination. So the first thing is check master data. So what kind of master data are we talking about? Look at this. It says something about account groups. Where did we see the customer account group and material account group? In the customer master and material master. So where exactly is it? In the customer master, let's take one customer, say the one that Rajesh just created, 21,10,00. Go to sales area data and go to billing, and this is the account. No, we didn't specify anything there. This is one of the parameters that could be used, it's not mandatory by the way, that could be used for revenue account determination. Let's say this customer is a domestic customer, internal. Okay, then we can call it as 01, internal. Right? So this is the customer master account assignment group. How about material master? MM02. You take any material. Gen 1? No. PC201? Say. Go to the sales org views. And where is the account assignment group? Here. So this is the material account assignment group. So you have different classifications of customers. Sorry, material, services, trading goods, blah, blah, blah.
Shiva, one quick question, Shiva.
Yes.
Let's say, recently we had this error, we were processing or a customer, they send us the invoice and it failed saying that account determination is not yet set up.
Right.
So my question here is, let's say I have a customer and he is sending the orders for, let's say, 50 materials. So for each material, do I need to set up this account assignment group?
It's not necessary. This is optional.
This is optional, okay.
Yes. Optional. Why it is optional and under what situations it will become mandatory is based on that particular scenario. Meaning, it all depends on the requirements of the accounting department. So actually, for SDFI integration, this account determination, the requirements come from FICO. They have a particular set of requirements, meaning they'll say, yes, I want revenue for, let's say your Dell. Dell sells desktops, laptops, blah, 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 right? They don't want to put all the revenue that comes in from all the products into one account. Then they cannot do any kind of reporting, financial reporting. So what they'll do is, they will segregate. Okay, all revenue for desktops need to go into one account. All revenue for laptops need to go into one account. Now, this can be done using many ways. You can use the standard material group to do this account. So why create another group called account assignment group? What is this purpose? The purpose of creating another group by SAP is for clean demarcation of sales and finance. Example, sales can have their own way of grouping customers for the purpose of sales. And accounts have their own way of grouping revenues by material for the purposes of accounting and auditing and reporting. Now, both can be seen, or you have more options. Both can be different. In this case, SAP gives us an additional field called account assignment group. Both at the header level, both at the customer level as well as the material level, that you can use to affect your accounts. But like I said, this is optional. You don't always need to do it this way. You can do it using material group also, as we are going to see in the condition technique. The field catalog in the condition technique for accounting or account determination will contain n number of parameters, say 10, 15 parameters. and you can choose any one of those, and or maybe a multiple set of those, and then do your account. Like I said, the requirements come from finance. They determine how they want these accounts to be determined. We have a say in there for the simple reason that the flow happens from SD. So SD is where the flow happens. We hold the reins there. They hold the targets. So they let us know what the target is going to be, and we make sure that the amount flows through to that target depending on different scenarios. For example, the same Dell example, laptops and desktops go into separate accounts. Right? Let me take that example. So, company like Dell, they have different divisions, and they say their accounting department is laptops, desktops, go into different accounts. Let's say this is 8000010, 8000012. Now, do they always go and sit like that? Maybe not. In case of a regular sale, they go and sit in that account. In case of, let's say, something like a promotion sale, they don't want them to be sitting in this account, but rather sitting in 8000020 and 8000022. This is standard sale. This is promo sales. This is the requirement. What is the first question that you ask them? Okay, how do we identify promo sales? Anything with ZOR or Z standard or anything that's similar to a standard order is all standard sales. Promo sales could also be the same, but the customer uses a promo code for discounts. If a promo code is there, take the revenue to a different account. So how do you identify it? Maybe a certain parameter in pricing, maybe a certain special customer group is used, or maybe a special coupon code is used. You need to pick that parameter and use it in the standard condition technique for account determination and make sure that under these circumstances, accounts needs to go and sit in these different GL accounts compared to a standard GL account. Okay, so all of this that we are studying today is to give you that flexibility to configure the system based on the FICO requirements for posting revenues, sales deductions, taxes, rights, and all these different amounts to the respective accounts based on the scenarios that they ask you to post to. Okay? That's why condition technique came into picture here, because the requirements can be dynamic. It could be promo code, it could be customer group. Same example. Okay, I want everything to be posted here for domestic customers. For international customers, I want it to be posted to these set of accounts. Maybe there is a legal requirement to differentiate domestic sales and international sales and show it differently on the balance sheet. In order to cater to that requirement, obviously, the finance department would have to have a different set of accounts for domestic sales and a different set of accounts for international sales. And how are you going to identify a domestic versus international sale? Maybe based on the customer. The
customer account group will be set to domestic versus international, like we have seen here. Remember in the previous screen, domestic, foreign. So we can classify the customer as domestic or foreign. If the same customer is doing both domestic as well as international, then maybe this is not the right parameter. Another parameter could be maybe the distribution channel is different or sales org is different for international sales. Either way, our job is to identify the scenario and identify the parameters that can be used to identify that scenario. In this case, if you want to differentiate, maybe customer account group is the right parameter, or maybe sales org is the right parameter. Identify it and use it in your condition technique. Okay? Let's go back. So we were here, right? Revenue account determination. So we have identified that we can use a certain set of master data if necessary. We can create new customer account groups and new material account groups if necessary. Okay? But it is not always necessary. You don't need to create these as a matter of, being mandatory. But these are optional. If you want, you can create them. If you want to identify the customers based on different parameters for the purpose of accounting, yes, you can do it. But it is optional. Second, define dependencies. So what is this table? What is this screen that you are seeing? The condition technique. What are the two steps that this screen identifies?
Create table and
Create table.
Okay. What table is it? Condition table.
condition table.
Condition table.
And what is this?
Field catalog.
So field catalog is step number 1. Condition table is step number 2. So this identifies the first two steps. So field catalog. If you go to a field catalog, you'll see that there are not 190 fields, but only 13 fields. A simple set of fields. So you can use order reason, you can use condition type, you can use account assignment group. You have so many different parameters. Right? So let's choose a dynamic parameter, say order reason. Let's try to configure it. Okay, let's use order reason to try to configure a scenario. Meaning, if the order reason is so and so, then post to different set of requests. If the order reason is something else, let's say the customer is ordering because of this order, this reason, then it needs to go to this account. If the customer is ordering because of another reason, then it needs to go to this account. Very simple parameter that we can use during order creation, dynamically change and see the effect of it. Okay? So create a condition table. So go to create, which is step number. Which step is this? 2. Okay? 2. Go to choose. So let's create again a number 790. Okay? Choose order reason. I know the technical field is the same, so I'm going to generate it. Yes. Step number 1 is the field catalog. Right? Step number 2 is condition table. What is step number 3?
Access sequence.
Access sequence. Right. So select it, click on choose. And then we have only 2 access sequences. We don't have like a ton of access sequences. Even in a very productive system, you'll not have more than 2 or 3 different access sequences. Most of the time, the standard access sequences are used. Okay? So, in order to not disturb it, as usual, we're going to take the standard copy, create our own. Custom access sequence. Select it, double click on accesses, and then select on each of them, make sure that they're all properly mapped. The same technique should be used in pricing. Okay? Make sure that all of them are mapped. Now the only difference here is going to be we are going to create a new entry. Right? Call it 5, call it so 5. Oh, sorry, not so 5. 7, 90.
90.
That's right.
90.
790. Go back. Oh, field assignment. So select it. Select it. And then double click on fields. Go inside and make sure that that field is properly mapped. Right? Same condition technique. No difference. Right? Save this guy. Step number 3 is creation of the access sequence. So here is where you start with creating the access sequence, and you have created a new, inserted your new condition table by copying the standard access sequence and creating your own. This is step number 3. Step number 4 is the account determination type, which is similar to what?
Pricing determination.
What is step number 4 in condition technique?
Type 2.
Condition?
Type.
Condition type, yes. We are going to have the same name and same name as access sequence. Okay, I'm going to copy it from the standard condition type. See, a very easy sequence of steps. You don't need to use much intelligence. If you understand condition type, you just go blindly. Okay? So this is done. What is step number 5? Define and assign account determination procedures. So you start with define. there is a standard account determination procedure. Do you want to change it? No. Make a copy of it. Copy all. Then, just like the way we have created pricing procedures and their copies, not much different. So instead of ZO5, we are going to do ZO5. And do we need COFK? Let it remain. If you want, you can delete it also. Okay? Okay. So similar to the standard pricing procedure, account determination procedure, we have created our own account determination procedure. Now the last sixth step in configuration is account determination procedure. So in pricing, the determination procedure was assigned to dash, dash, and dash.
Sales area, distribution channel and division.
Sales area comprises of distribution channel and division. So
Sales or distribution channel and division, and customer pricing procedure and document pricing procedure.
Very good. So it was more complicated. In this case, it's much simpler. It is much, much simpler. It is directly assigned to the billing document type. That's it. Anybody has created a custom billing document type? No? So let's go create a custom billing document type. So we'll take a copy of F2 and create the jar. Right? Very similar to Raj or the Raj or the jar. Okay. Whatever. Let's say the jar. Now here is the trick. Let me revisit something. In order for the order type, particular order type, let's say the Raj, to have this invoice type, what are the things that you need to do? You need to ensure that the corresponding copy controls exist and
the F2 has to be changed to ZA jar.
Right? Very clear? Now I'm going fast, but these are the necessary things that have to be done in order for you to configure, in order for you to test revenue account determination. Now, don't be going ahead and changing F2 and the corresponding account determination types for F2. It just causes pain for everybody else. It solves your problem immediately, but it causes problems for others. So make sure you don't do that. If you do it, it causes problems for others. Then you are just creating problems, nothing else. Even in a real system, it will cause even more problems. Because you are not supposed to change things like that. In order to change, for example, F2, you will have to get approval from probably a very, very senior person in your respective department. So it could be as complicated as that. So make sure you don't change standard settings. Always copy, create your own. Even for testing in a real world, if you are asked to develop something, you will first do a test, a proof of concept. How will you do it? You will not change standard scenarios, standard configurations. You have to create your own custom setup, your own document types, your own item categories, your own copy controls, your own, everything your own. If you change existing setup, then people will be running after you. Okay, so what have we done? We have changed the order to cash cycle for a particular document type to include our own custom document type. Now, file and assign, go there, go to assign. Now, you'll have a Z jar. And it should be assigned to what? Our own custom procedure, which is head. Okay. Now, 6 steps are done. Step number 5. Step number 6 is determination, right? 6th step is also done. Z jar. What is the 7th step? What is step number 7?
Assignment.
Assignment is just step number 6. What is the next step? In condition technique, what is step number 7?
VK11, Shiva, where we...
Condition record maintenance in VK11. Perfect. In our case, condition record maintenance is not done by the customer, but done or user. It's done by the consultant. And it is not done in a easy access transaction, but it's done in a SBRO transaction. Okay? So, how do we do that? Go to assign account, assign GL accounts. So this is the equivalent of creating condition records. Okay? So go to GL accounts and you'll see that your scenario is there. Order reason. Double click. Then you'll be given those keys and you have to map it to an account. Now, when those keys come up, I'm going to tell you all the different keys. We're going to talk about all the different keys. This is a blank screen, right? You have to make entries here. Now, this is very difficult because you don't know many things here. So I'm going to go back. I want to take a simple scenario and we'll see all the different fields that exist there, understand them first, and then we'll come back to this. Okay? Now look at this. A standard scenario. It is an example. So what does A mean? A means application. Account determination is used by many different applications. V means sales. Okay, it's more or less like a hard code. You don't have to do anything there. Next one is condition type. This is account determination condition type. It is Co-FI. What will you use? You will use ZOFI. So, ZOFI is your condition type that you have created. Remember? Next. This is called chart of accounts. What is chart of accounts? Chart of accounts is a header that contains a list of GL accounts. It's just a name as a header with a name that contains a list of all GL accounts. And chart of accounts is generally associated with company code. Okay? If you want, you can go to configuration and see the chart of accounts that is associated with a particular company code. Where is it? here. If you go to, let's say, 1000, where is it? It will be at least, I think it's in, not in enterprise structure, but maybe in financial accounting. Select 1000. And what is the chart of accounts here? INT, International. Okay. Again, this is something that you don't have to worry about. You just ask your FICO consultant, he'll just give it to you. But for today, we don't have a FICO consultant, so we're going to know it ourselves. So the chart of accounts is INT. What is the chart of accounts? Just a header that contains a list of accounts, GL accounts associated with that chart of accounts. Now, the final parameter is account keys. This is the missing link. The account keys come from the pricing procedure. Where have we seen it?
Just the requirements or something, there is something like that.
These are called account keys. Right? These are your account keys. Now, forget about everything you have learned at this point for a moment. I said, you remember that equation? An invoice is posted to accounts, line item 10, N01, and then PR00, price is 100, discount K004, discount of minus $10, subtotal, actually make it a little bit smaller. And then we can have what? We can have a freight. Let's forget freight. Freight also you can do. Okay, let's do freight. Freight is $5.95. And then we have what? Tax. Tax is how much? Let's say 10%. 9.5. So total is 95 plus 9.5. 104.5. I said it will be posted to, this will be posted to which account? Revenue, I said. The credit. This will be posted to the sales deduction. Debit account. It's a debit. Freight will be posted to freight account. Credit. Credit will be a credit. Tax will be posted to a tax account. Credit, which will be also be a credit. This one will be posted to a recon. It will be a debit. So the missing link here is the account key. This is what binds the pricing to account determination. So here it will be ERL. Here ERS. Freight will be, I don't know, there will be some key there. Tax will be
MVST, MWS.
MWS. Okay? Freight will be something else. So these account keys bind the pricing procedure and the corresponding amounts to the account determination, and from that point on, the account determination will take care of how the account should go to. This is consider it like a binding agent. The account keys point the particular amount, let's say PR00 amount, to go into a particular account, and that exact account is determined via account determination procedure. Once the account key is determined, here there is a black box. This black box is account determination procedure. And that will take care of which revenue account it should go to, which deduction account it should go to, which freight account it should go to, so on and so forth. Is this clear? Okay. Now, in our case, again, you go to order reason, create new entries. Application is sales. The condition type is
G, copy.
UFI. Chart of accounts is INT. Order reason is, let's say something. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. So you have to put some GL account here. What GL account will you put? You have to put some GL account. Let's say, again, this you cannot choose every GL account. The actual GL account has to be of a particular type. It has to be of a balance sheet type, or it has to be of a P&L type. Revenue accounts are generally P&L accounts, I guess. So what is a P&L account? What's a profit and loss account? P&L means. Balance sheet account is a different kind of account. Okay, reconciliation account is a different kind of account. So we don't have to worry about the type of account that we are going to create. Okay, your FICO consultant will help you with all that. But we are just going to choose one account, 14-00001. GOFI. Okay, so we made this entry. In terms of, if you draw a parallel to the condition technique of pricing, this is like creation of a condition record. Okay. Now all that is left is for us to test. Right? So go create an order of type Viraj. With some customer. Any customer is fine because we are not basing it on the customer. We are not basing our account determination on customer account group or something like that. We are basing it only on what?
Account determination.
No, order reason.
Oh, order reason, sorry. Yeah.
Right? We said 001. Okay, go deliver it. From this point on, it all depends on how the other things are going. So there are many things that you have to make sure that the order goes through truthfully. We are going to deliver this time. We cannot see the effect of account determination, revenue account determination, or any of that in delivery or in other areas. Only during invoicing. Okay, so we have to do transfer order, to pick the goods. 2012-07-08. I'm checking the company code 1000 has no period for date. Oh my god. What happened? No period for date. I think somebody changed company code. It's not in OB52. It's in some table. Okay. This is some error that has to be fixed. But don't worry. Anyway, whatever I was going to do, I was going to create an order, deliver it, have an order reason set here. Do a delivery, do a BGI if necessary, and do billing and post it to accounts. That's where you have to see this revenue account. Okay? So I don't want to bother you with all those account closing periods and all those things. I'll try doing it separately, then give you an example of how the accounts are posted to. In fact, you can take a standard standard invoice, something that has already been posted to. For example, we were doing some order as part of exercises for order to cash cycle, right? So over there, if you look at the document flow, standard order, very old order, look at an invoice, right? And then look at the accounting document for it. I can show you some examples of how this accounting document looks like. So this is how a standard accounting document looks like. Okay? Just as an example, let's take this. Okay? What is happening here? You see, credit is negative, debit is positive. Right? In this case, this is customer or customer recall. What is happening there? Is it a debit happening or a credit happening?
Debit.
I told you, revenue and tax are
Credits.
credits. Very good. So the total amounts of debits will be equal and opposite to the total amount of credits. So this is how an accounting document will look like. Okay? So this is account determination. A very important topic that falls under the category of SDFI integration. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So is this credits and debit amount like they will be always equal or?
Yeah, always equal. In dual entry accounting, when a transaction happens, the amount of credits and debits should always be the same.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for today?
No, sir.
No?
Shiva, another question, Shiva.
Yes.
So if account determination is missing, then we need to do all this setup, everything whatever we talked today.
We need to ensure that this setup exists. If not, maybe the account is missing. Maybe for that combination the account is missing. Maybe the parameter like order reason was not entered because of which the account is not determined, so on and so forth. So you just have to figure out where you are going wrong. This can be done in a variety of ways. For example, if you go here and go to that invoice, let's say. Okay, let's say we are here. We are at this invoice, and you click on this button, posting to accounts. And then there is some problem. It says there is an error. So you have to find out what is the error. So how do you determine that error? Using this. In pricing, we use analysis. Remember, go to conditions, analysis. This is very similar, no difference. Same thing. Here you can do an analysis as to how the accounts were determined, and if there is something wrong, you can figure out where things have gone wrong. And then go to the respective place and see which parameter is missing, because it will say, okay, this parameter is missing. For example, account assignment group is not determined. Then, okay, you can go back and do the respective corrections. Does it make sense, Srini?
Yeah, but Shiva, the error what we got is like, this is actually like first time the business is receiving the inbound invoices.
Okay.
From the inbound invoices. So the invoice came in and the IDOC failed saying that the account determination is not set up. The whole setup doesn't exist. So when we go and talk to the
Correct.
So when we go and talk to the FI people and SD and to the business, they said this is the first time we are receiving the inbound invoices and the process is not yet set up.
So that customer itself might not be set up. Is that customer set up properly in SAP? Meaning, does it have the right customer account group? Does it have the right company code associated with it? Is everything properly set up? That is your first, because you said it's a new customer, that's the first area that you should probably be checking. The second area is, if everything is set up, first that customer, okay? Let's say your inbound IDOC came in with a customer of 1000 and material from M01. The first thing that you have to do to troubleshoot it is, go create an order manually. Go to VA01, go put that customer in, materials, and try and save this. Is it saving properly? If not, it will throw you an error. It will be very easy to debug that error when you try to create that order manually, as opposed to via IDOC or via BAPI or via some other function module. Because this will be more interactive and it will give you more meaningful error messages.
Okay. Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yes, Shiva. Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, another question, Shiva, like it's regarding the credit management. Like once what happened in the quality environment, we were testing, and then the guy from SD, like he created so many test orders for us. And when we tried to invoice, it says that credit, same error like we got before in the class, that says the credit exceeded, credit limit exceeded.
Okay.
In the test environment, how can we clear them? How can we, because in test really there will not be anything
You
like
the FICO consultant, and what FICO consultant can do is he can go to FBL 5N and he can see all the open items if there are any, okay, and then he can clear them. So there will be in red if they are not cleared. Okay?
Clear them in the sense like just delete them or?
No, not delete them. A payment has to come in. See, the scenario that we are trying to simulate is customer is placing orders and may be delivered in the invoice. So there are so many open items that are pending. Okay? So somebody has to clear them so that the customer can order freshly again. Right? So that FBL5 and open items can be only cleared via inbound payments. So the FICO consultant in the quality environment can simulate an inbound payment. So he'll do a posting. So saying that customer has posted, let's say $1 million against the set of invoices. So all those open items against which this posting has been made will be clear. That is one way of doing it. What is the other way? Increase the credit limit.
Right.
Right? Let's say you are working around $100,000 in credit limit. You are having problems with orders getting stuck with credit management. Increase it to $10 million. So you have a lot of scope there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay? Two ways of doing it. Alright guys. So we'll close for today then. Tomorrow we'll discuss another topic. Alright? So practice on this account determination. At least go through the basics. Do not anything. Go through the basics. Like I said, I'll send you that recording and send you that the notes as well. Just go through it when you get a chance. If not, at least revise your old pricing concepts. Okay? Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Shiva, can you send also yesterday's recording?